Hey guys, what's cracking? It's Krakenation. I'm coming at you guys today with the next installment of our competitive analysis videos. Today we're going to be talking about Duraludon. This Pokemon was announced pretty early on in the Sword and Shield trailer timeline, so we've seen it for a while, we've known its typing, and now we've got a chance to look at both its move pool and its stats and see how we can use it in competitive play. Before I get into that, again, we just crossed 500 subscribers, guys, and that is unreal. We are flying up the subscribers count in a way I have really never done before, and it's just so awesome to see. Just really makes my day every time I see it. I'm so incredibly amped at all the support I'm getting. If you want to continue to support the channel, you want to share these videos with your friends, that would just be so helpful. If you want to drop a subscription, warms my heart, guys. Absolutely really does. I've never been a big YouTuber, and that's okay with me. I'm not trying to be a big YouTuber. I just want to be a guy who can teach people how to play competitive Pokemon. That's my goal. That's why I do this. And so if you want to support that, you can drop a subscription and share this with your friends. It would be really appreciated. You can comment down in the comments section below. I always try to respond to every single comment that I can. If you want to leave a like, even that just small little thing is really appreciated. So let's go right into Duraludon here. So this thing is a Steel Dragon type. Right off the bat, that's a really solid typing with only 2 weaknesses to fighting and ground, but a lot of really good immunities and resistances. So that's going to be a really solid typing to work with right off the bat. So this Pokemon is set up for success with that. For its abilities, we've got Light Metal, Heavy Metal, and Stalwart. So Light Metal having your speed, Heavy Metal doubling your speed. Oh, sorry. Light Metal having your weight, I should say. Heavy Metal doubling your weight, and Stalwart makes you so it's kind of more of a useful ability in doubles, where it makes it so you ignore the effects of moves and abilities that redirect your attacks, like Storm Drain, for example, or like Lightning Rod or something. So that Stalwart ability is going to be more useful in doubles than it is in singles, which is where we're going to focus on today. I think for singles, you're either going to run Light Metal or Heavy Metal. If you were running Heavy Slam, you would run Heavy Metal. I think in all of these situations, you would rather run Light Metal so that your opponent's low kicks don't hit you as hard. This is a Steel type, and low kick is a decently common coverage move. So if you have Light Metal and can avoid those more highly pace-powered low kicks, that would be good. So I'm going to recommend Light Metal as the go-to ability for the most part on Duraludon. Let's go ahead and take a look at these stats. This thing's got 70 HP, 95 attack, 115 defense, 120 special attack, 50 SPDF, and 85 speed. So great, really solid, like I'd say it's above average physical defense for this Pokemon is awesome. It's going to be able to stomach a lot of physical attack, especially because of its really great typing. If you could switch this in on maybe like a Pokemon clicking like a resisted move on the physical side, you're going to be really in a good spot with this. Special attack is really good here. Really decent attack stat too, so good mixed offenses. That special attack stat at 120 is going to stand out, especially because this isn't like a bulkier, slower mon. You have a chance to run HP and special attack and really capitalize on this Pokemon's good physical defense and special attack. Obviously also being able to run coverage moves with the physical side. Obviously very poor special defense, really bad special defense, so you're going to want to keep that in mind. You cannot use this to tank special hits, and you're going to need to support it likewise on your team. Decent speed stat, actually. This thing looks like it should literally never move a day in its life. It's like a metal robot dragon thing that like just does not look like it should move at all whatsoever. So I was shocked to see the 85 speed. I would expect like 30 speed for this thing, or 20 speed. 85 speed is pretty decent, so you're going to have the option to run Scarf Sets with this thing for sure. It's really right around where you want to be to run a viable Scarf Set. You could also run just a regular speed set to outspeed other base 80 type Pokemon, speed type other 85, stuff like that. So definitely the option to invest in speed as much as you need to outspeed relevant threats. So let's take a look at some notable moves, and because this thing is a dragon types tend to get really great coverage, so this thing's got a lot of options, both on the physical and special side. Brick Break is going to be a fighting move that you could run. Dark Pulse, Draco Meteor, Dragon Pulse are going to be your go-to dragon moves, most notably. It's got access to like things like Outrage. Dragon Tail is very cool. Dragon Claw is another option if you want more reliability on the physical dragon side. Flash Cannon is going to be a really good move you could run. It might be your go-to Steel type move. The other option for your Steel type move is basically Steel Beam, which seems really good, but so what Steel Beam is the 140 base power special attacking Steel move, and that's insane, with the drawback of doing 50% of your own health back to you in damage, which is a huge drawback, and I think that's going to be enough to keep Steel Beam out of viability. So I'm going to go with Flash Cannon as your go-to Steel type move. Stealth Rock is awesome on a Pokemon like this because its bulkiness to set up those rocks reliably, at least on the physical side. Heavy Slam will be another good option. If you wanted to run Heavy Metal, Heavy Slam is a pretty good option there. Reflect Light screen support is really nice. It gets Thunder Wave, so you get those like Stealth Rock, screen support, Thunder Wave, Dragon Tail, acts as a nice utility move pool. Iron Head's a good physical offensive move if you're not going to want to mess around with Heavy Slam shenanigans. It gets access to Stone Edge and Rock Slide, and then also Thunderbolt. So if you want to hit those water types, Thunderbolt is a good option. So let's take a look at some sets I cooked up here. First up, I've got the Spec Set. This set could also easily be a Scarf set if you wanted to invest in speed. You could run a Spec Set and invest in speed instead. So I just want to put that out there, you guys. But I'm running a Spec Set here with max HP to maximize Pokemon's physically defensive capabilities. Running Light Metal, like I talked about, to lower damage from low kick. 252 HP, 252 special attack, modest nature. You could also make this 252 special attack, 252 speed, modest nature. You could make it a timid nature, and then you could also even go Scarf with this thing if you wanted to. So I put this set here as a Spec Set, but I want you guys to really think about what you want to run on your team, because just because this says Spec doesn't mean you have to run Specs. I think Scarf is equally viable. I think you could invest into speed and still run Specs, or invest into speed and run Scarf. For your special attacking moves, I've got Draco Meteor as your go-to powerhouse wall breaking move. A lot of things cannot take well, at least can't take well. 120 base power, specs boosted Dracos coming off that powerful stab. So Draco Meteor is gonna be a good move. You could run Dragon Pulse if you wanted for more like reliability, but I'm running Draco here to wall break. For reliability on this set, you're going to run Flash Cannon as your other move. That'll let you hit those fairy types really hard, hit those rock types that you could switch into really, really hard. Thunderbolt's a good move for this Pokemon. It lets it hit those water types that can come in on and resist. This thing becomes a pretty decent Scald switch in, although its special attack is low, so you want to be careful about more powerful Scalds. Dark Pulse is the final move I put in as coverage. You could also run maybe like a Stealth Rock and be a Spec Stealth Rock set, I guess. But I put Dark Pulse here for coverage. Lets you hit those Ghost types and Psychic types a little bit harder without having to click Draco Meteor. So this is a set that I think has the chance to see competitive viability. And like I said earlier, I want you guys to keep in mind, this could be a Scarf set. This could be a Spec set with speed investment. You're going to have to kind of adjust that how you see fit for your team. So this is the next set I've cooked up, and this is a more utility attacker set. This time we're running 252 HP, 252 special attack. You want to maximize your defense because you're running so many utility options. So we're going to run that. We're running Light Metal again like I talked about. And this time we replaced the specs with leftovers to give you more survivability. And then finally the last couple of moves we slotted in Stealth Rock and Thunder Wave, both of which are really good abilities. What's nice is that if you can catch a Pokemon on a switch in with Thunder Wave, you might be able to get off a few free attacks on it, slow your opponent's team down, always good things. This Pokemon is also, obviously, if you're on a physical attacker, going to be a really reliable Stealth Rock setter. So it's a good option to run Stealth Rocks on your team. Another option you could put here is Dragon Tail or Screen Support. Dragon Tail could be really cool because it lets you phase Pokemon out and is stab. Screen Support is always good if you wanted it, although this Pokemon might not be the best screen setter in the world. It is an option on this Pokemon for sure. So let's go ahead and summarize with some pros and cons here. So obviously this Pokemon's got great physical bulk, definitely above average, and you're going to be able to take some hits on the physical side. It's got solid special offense and good access to its stab moves. So it's got things like Splash Cannon and Steel Beam, Draco Meteor, and Dragon Pulse. So you can pick and choose what you want to do, where you want to kind of go over the top and see if you can push the boundaries of power level, where you want to try to play it safer, and not be punished with like Draco misses or stat drops or Steel Beam recoil. It's got a great defensive typing for the most part, with a lot of key resistances and only 2 weaknesses. And it's got useful utility moves like Thunder Wave and Stealth Rock, Screen Support, Dragon Tail, the like. There are some cons like this Pokemon, like any other Pokemon. It's got poor special bulk that's going to be very exploitable. An Earth Power would absolutely destroy this thing. An Aura Sphere would absolutely destroy this thing. It's got poor special coverage, so it's got great stabs. But as far as coverage goes on the special side, you're basically looking at Thunderbolt and Dark Pulse, and that's just about it. And those, so to be fair, those are pretty good special coverage moves. So it's not the worst thing in the world, but if you needed to run something else, this Pokemon probably can't offer you that. Its only 2 weaknesses are very common, and that's going to be a problem for it. Ground and fighting types are very common offensive typing, even for things to run like Earthquake or Close Combat as coverage. So a lot of Pokemon are going to have access to these moves that hit it super effectively. So its bulk might be mitigated slightly by the fact, and its defensive typing might be mitigated by the fact that its only 2 weaknesses are 2 of maybe the most, if not the most common attacking types, up there with like Fire and Flying. Finally, it's got pretty mediocre speed. It's not awful speed, but it's definitely nothing you're going to be like, wow, this Pokemon's so fast. You're going to still be outsped a lot of times, especially if you're not running that Scarf, and you're going to have to deal with like fast fighting types or fast Pokemon clicking Earthquake. Those are going to be problems for you. So I've cooked up some team options here and things to look out for when you're building a team around or with Duraludon to support it effectively. I think flying types are a really good option to pair this Pokemon with. Flying types will be able to be immune to the ground type moves and resist those fighting type moves that Duraludon fears. So defensively, flying types have great synergy with Duraludon. It's just going to be a thing where like you can switch in when you're fearing a fighting or a ground type move. A flying type will almost always be able to come in. Bulky psychic types are similarly good. A lot of physically defensive psychic types will be able to take earthquakes and also clearly destroy fighting types in a similar way to flying types. The other thing I really want to mention is that ground types are also a really good option for you to pair with Duraludon, especially bulky ground types that would really appreciate a defensive core with this thing. Ground types are weak to grass and water and ice, most notably. Duraludon is not weak to any of those things. In fact, it resists both water and grass. Really hardcore resists grass, so it's going to be a really good partner with a ground type, I think. So you want to definitely pair this thing up with a ground type on any team you're running, and it's going to be a really good defensive backbone. Cleaners are also going to be a good Pokemon because this Pokemon has not necessarily wall breaking, but the ability to deal heavy damage in a quick moment at a given moment's notice. So it's going to be a teammate that pairs well with any kind of cleaner. So big threats are going to be Pokemon that are decently fast wall breakers, especially decently fast special attackers in general. This thing, if you can even hit it neutrally, and that's not as easy to do as you might think, but if you can even hit it neutrally, it's going to be pretty beat up on the special side, and that's going to be easily exploited by opposing Pokemon. Finally, a big threat for it is opposing steel types, which is another reason why you really want to get that ground type teammate, because ground type teammates will beat the steel types because this Pokemon has no way to hit steel types. Steel types resist both of its stabs. Its coverage moves only hit it neutrally. It doesn't have a super effective option to hit opposing steel types. So you're going to want to pair it, like I said, with a ground type that could really help you beat up on those steel types. Let me know what you guys thought of this video. Let me know if you enjoyed it. It's always awesome to have you guys around and watch these videos. The support has just been unreal, and just keep it coming, guys, because I'm just going to keep pumping out these videos since you guys have been requesting them so hardcore. If you want to join our Discord channel, be a part of our growing Pokemon community, feel free to ask below, check the description box below and ask me any questions you want in the Discord channel. I'll be a lot quicker to get to those questions if you ask me them in the chat below. So until next time, I will see you guys later. Krakenation out.